So today guys we're going to have a look at Starling Bank. So for you guys who don't know, it's an app only bank. It doesn't have online banking via a web portal. It is just strictly for app based. So we're going to have a look at it now. So we're going to do it in sections because there's 4 main sections, and obviously within each of those sections we'll cover off what you need to know. So we're going to head and launch the Starling app. Obviously this works with Touch ID. And we are into, this is the home page itself. Now we're going to come back to the home page in just a second. We're going to concentrate on the far left one, which is pay. So if we go over to pay, you can see you've got various different options here. So with pay, on this screen here you can pay new and existing contacts, whether that's a business or a friend, relative, anybody else with a bank account. So as you can see, I've already got one set up. So these are people I pay frequently but not as a schedule. So if I needed to drop money into a joint account, I can hit it and then boom, I can see it. Now one good thing about having it already set up, you get a detailed look of what you've got. So it gives you the account number and sort code, which obviously you guys can't see. You can obviously see how much you've sent to that account in 2018. You can see your last payment was on the 15th of June, which was £100. Simple things like that. You can obviously edit. You can edit it so you can change the name. You can add a picture to it, and obviously, easy as that. Coming back out of it, you can then obviously go on to schedule. So these are going to be what's called like your direct debit. So if we look at E, for example, you've got EE, which is my phone bill, £52.31p last paid. If I click onto it, it tells me what it is, the amount paid, and the reference code. Right at the bottom, you can then see a transaction history. So again, click onto that, and then it tells me, boom, that's how much I've been paying so far. So you get a really good, clear look at all your direct debits and how much you've paid out. And the last one on this section is foreign. So if you wanted to send money abroad to a relative who has gone over, or for example, a use case scenario for me is if my child went abroad and they needed some funds, I can then say if I was to give them £1,000, they would receive €1,137.71. Good rate. There is a fee included in that. I can then send it to the SWIFT or local partner. I can go next, and off I go. I can then set that up and get that transfer. So all this you can do within the app itself. So that, guys, is a quick look there. Now the last one is quite a new feature to Starling. It's quite unique. It's called Settle Up. So Settle Up, you get your own unique link, which you can turn on or turn off. So if I was to give you this link, it would then basically send you a little text message. That's a switch on link. So if we go £10 is for dinner, I can then send. We're going to then message. I'm going to send it to myself just to see what it looks like. And boom. Close that. And then what will happen is, there you go, it's just gone through. I then get a nice little, Daniel has sent you a payment request for £10. Pay easily with using Settle Up. So if I then click on the link, let's see what happens. Obviously, it will launch the app for me. But for other people it probably wouldn't do that. It would then give you the option to pay. So it would probably take you to a web portal, which will then allow you to do it. So for the rest of the people who haven't got the Starling app, which can obviously be the majority of people, this is what you get. So obviously you get the Starling Bank logo at the top, you get the person who sent it, so me. This is a payment request, this is for dinner. Yeah, so then you go, let's go. It's obviously then going to say how much would you like to send, so I would stick with the default 10, or I can add more if I wanted to send a little bit more, anything you want. And then message to Daniel. Here you go, next. It's then going to give me the option. So as I have an iPhone, I have the option to use card, so one of my pre-saved cards, or Apple Pay. If I click Apple Pay, it should then hopefully, there we go. Boom, put my finger on it, and then it will basically just debit me straight away, and off I go. And obviously I will get the payment then using the faster payment method. So that was, guys, a look at set up a really easy way to get those IOUs from your friends without the hassle of having to go through sending your direct debit details over and all those things, which obviously makes your account less secure. Okay guys, so moving on to the next section, which is spending, which is the dreaded bit. On this one, it gives you a breakdown of which month you'd obviously like to look at. So we can go back to May, we can go back to April, depending on when you obviously joined. So you just simply swipe across anywhere on the screen and it'll go all the way back. So if we look at April as a prime example, we can then look in the categories section. So if we go pick a random one such as entertainment, we can then see I've spent money on iTunes. We come out of that one, we can then go to eating out and various different things there. We can also say incoming. There's your incoming. And then you can switch to merchants, which is good. So there's all the different people that you've paid. And this gives you a great then. So one of the great things I like about it is you can click into something. So if we look here, so Jurassic Coast, we can click into it and you can edit it. So this is a Costa Coffee. At the moment it hasn't got an icon associated with it. I can then change that to get updated at Starling's end so it has an icon like everything else. So I can go improve. So the information is correct. It is called Jurassic Coast Coffee, Sidmouth, because it's a franchisee of Costa. But then we can submit a logo improvement. Then I can put the URL, so we could just put www.Costa Coffee. If I could spell. You get the idea. So you're in Costa Coffee, and then you put the Twitter, so you can put Costa Coffee, and the Facebook at Costa Coffee. Now I'm not going to actually submit this because this will actually go to a team, but that's as simple as it needs to be. And then it will get reviewed, and they'll update it in time. Obviously, you can see where on the map where you put the transaction. So it's in Sidmouth. Obviously, it gets that off the terminal ID. And then if it was the wrong category, so if we wanted to change the category, you can see where it says eating out. We can click on that and then change it to something else. So if it was shopping, we could change it to shopping and stuff like that. And you can do that to anything which hasn't got a. So if you look here, we've got Tesco's, obviously got the T for Tesco. The Barclays Partner Finance, so that's actually for my iPhone, so the Apple upgrade program, but that's already got an icon associated with it. Argos has got one, Moonpig. You get the idea. So all these get updated over time with contributions from the members. So that's, guys, is a look at spending. So this is a great way to get a breakdown of your month. This doesn't give you a live view, so if you want to know what you've just spent, you're looking in the wrong section. You want to go to home, and then it will look on there for you. But it's good if you want to break down and see where your money's going. So obviously you can see 29% of mine's going on payments, and then 22% is going on groceries. We can then click into groceries. We can then go into it. So if we pick one, so let's go for £8.64, 30th of April, we can click into it, and boom, it's going to tell me exactly where I spent it. It tells me the card payment, and it again, it's all there for you. Now this is a brand new feature. It literally come in the last probably 4 days. You can now attach your receipts to it, which is great for people who really want to keep on top of their banking. So we can attach, you can write a note, you can take a photo, or you can then upload a photo. So I've already done this on some of them, and that is a really cool little feature, which again nobody else is doing. So guys, that was a look at the banking spending side of it. We're now going to move on to the home section of it. Okay, so this brings us onto the main screen, which is the one you will get presented with every time you open the app. This is your home screen. So from this screen you've got quite a lot of sections, so we'll go through it from the top. So obviously at the top you've got your live balance. So this will give you a live indication of how much you've got available to spend. You can obviously add to it, so there is a little plus icon next to it. A couple of ways. So what I'll do when you open it, it's going to tell you your account number and sort code, so that's pretty useful if you want to do that. You can do a debit card transaction. So if I use Apple Pay, I can select another card and transfer money for example, from my joint account from NatWest into my Starling, or I can switch. So this is a quick way to get your switch started if you want to do a full switch to Starling. But here, this is what you get. So this is called the pulse, and this gives you a breakdown of what you spent today. So at the moment, there's only one transaction happened today. So if I click on what I've spent today, it's going to bounce and tell me where I've spent it. As you can see, I've spent £1.26 on a can of Monster this morning. I can then swipe up to view transactions from the bottom. So you just tap it, or indeed swipe up, makes a difference. And then it will give you a breakdown of your day-to-day spending. So I can then go through it and have a look. So we can see today at 6:56 AM, I spent £1.26 at Tesco's. And then if we look at yesterday's activities, you can see again Tesco, Co-op, then IKEA. Now if we look at IKEA, I spent £8.35. Now if you look closely, it does obviously say Apple Pay, so it will know what you actually did, whether you use chip and pin, cash withdrawal, or indeed Apple Pay. So I like the fact it does categorise them into actual what you did. So it does say Apple Pay. Obviously time, exact time and the date. And obviously we go down and we can indeed see what I bought. So you can see I did a little bit of shopping, but mainly it was for food. Let's face it, we all love IKEA food. And everything was absolutely fine. So that's all saved there, always available to me. And I can just keep scrolling down and I'm there. So as well, obviously you can do a detailed search. So if I wanted to see all my cash machine transactions, if I take cash machine, there we go. So you can see there's a couple here, £10, £20, £20. I can then, if we wanted to see this one, so there's one here on Sunday the 10th of June. I'm like, ooh, 2:30 in the morning, that's a bit unusual. So if we click on that one, it's going to tell me, actually I know where that was. I was out clubbing that night in Walsall in the West Midlands, and it's going to tell me exactly where I took it out from. Cash withdrawal. So really good, really useful if you want to have a look where you've been. And again, I don't know many banks that do that, so it's really unique to Starling. So it's great to know exactly where you were and what time you withdraw it. That was a quick look there. So that's those kind of features out the way there. At the top though, this is where you get your activity. So if we go to the top here, obviously it's going to give you everything you need to know. So we are going to go down, and obviously a lot of it will be blurred out for obviously my protection. So if we go to personal details, it's going to have your phone number, your email address, your verified email address, and your home address. You can obviously press edit. You can change the number. You can change the email address, and you can indeed change your address. So it's really good that you ain't got to get a form from the bank, and you know what I mean, all those kind of exciting things. Then we go into account management. Again, another way to get your details is there. So if your friend wanted your bank details, you can just literally go at the top, share, UK, share, and then send a text. It's just going to simply send them a text message with your details. That's really quick and useful. You ain't got to get your card and type it yourself. You can do it all in the app. Login and security. So Touch ID I've obviously got enabled. Obviously if that fails, you've obviously got a 4-digit passcode which you can change here. Obviously your account is locked by a password, so anytime you need to change something, whether it be set up a new person on your pay, or you want to export a statement, you would have to put your password in, and that's how you would do it from here. Manage device. So obviously again it's going to ask me to put my password in to see what devices I've got associated with it. So obviously I've only got this iPhone associated with it, because you can't access it on Macs and everything else. There you go. You can add a new device here. So if I was to have a partner give me a phone, give them that, they can scan that QR code and boom, they're in. Coming back out of this one, notifications. So every time I do a payment using my Apple Pay, I'll get 2 notifications. One from Apple Pay telling me I've done it, and one from Starling. So one of the fantastic features from Starling is their live notifications. So I will go through it now. Every time you pay, as soon as it gets authorised on the terminal pin pad, you get a notification. Obviously, as long as you've got your data turned on, you get a notification. So if you wanted to turn that off here, you can. But for me, I'm quite happy to have it on. I can turn it off on the Apple Pay side instead. So whether that is somebody put some money into your bank, as soon as it hits your bank, and I mean as soon as it hits your bank, you get a notification. So that's money in, money out as well. So it is live notifications, which is absolutely fantastic. Legal documents. Obviously, you can go through all those fantastic things if you really want to, but I'm going to save the hassle, and we're going to come back out of that one. And here's a great one: statements. So statements are always fun. So you can do a current statement. So if you need a statement now, but you don't necessarily need a month's worth, you can pull it up now. So you can see it's pulled it from the 1st of June to today, and you can pull that off no problem. I can go back in time. So obviously I've already got an April one, I've got a May one. So if we look at the April one, we press PDF. It's going to ask me for my password to authenticate. It's going to go next. It's going to export. I can export it. I can then press create PDF, and then boom, there you go. So this is what your statements will look like. Obviously it's got your name, address, all your standard things you would get on a bank statement, including obviously your account name, sort code, IBAN, all those great things at the top. But then obviously coming down to the transactions itself, you can see a lot of them are categorised. So you've got funding, you've got faster payment, so that's when obviously somebody sends you something from another bank. If it utilises the faster payment service, it's not going to take days to hit, it will take 10 minutes or even less in my experience. Online, so Moonpig was obviously an online transaction. Silver King and Spar, Apple Pay was used. So all those great things are used there. So obviously you can see for me, a lot of the time it's going to be a case of Apple Pay. For Tesco it says card payments, simply because I use a third party app. So a Tesco inbuilt app which is called Pay Plus. It's because I work for Tesco, I do my discount, it gives me a barcode. I scan the barcode, it does my staff discount for me and then bills my card. So that's why that gets slightly different categorised. But when you do contactless, that's what it's going to come under. It'll come under as a card payment and direct debit. So you can see a lot of it is broken down really easily. I can then send that off to my bank or anything like that. If I need to send it to someone, it's really easy to do it. So let's delete that one because we don't need it and go back to Starling. Interest, obviously you can see interest, so I've earned quite a lot of money as you can see on the interest. Yeah, so guys, that was a look at that. So let's come back out of that one. Customer service, now obviously this being an app based, all your services in here, so when I click on here, any support you've had, so any kind of correspondence you've had with either their calls or your, as you can see, a lot of my either email or chat is saved here. So we can see here my last chat, I was speaking to Ashley. My card kept getting declined, 2 separate merchants. I thought, oh, I'm going mad here. Checked, I had balance, and obviously you can see I got through fairly quickly. Started the chat at 10:53, and I was starting with Ashley at 10:54, so just a minute. Prior to this, I actually made a phone call, but couldn't manage to get through. And as you can see, Ashley had a look at my account for me. I didn't have to go through all that rigmarole of saying, what's your security pin, what's the third letter of your security pin. All that was not present because I did it for the app, so it knows my details. He identified the issue. It's because I was putting in the wrong security code the night before. And I remember this, it's because I was trying to set up Google YouTube Premium, and I got my security code the wrong way around, obviously a couple of times, and it had frozen it, and that's why everything kept getting blocked. As you can see, Ashley recognised that. He then rectified that for me, and that was that. Simple as that, really done. So literally done within a couple of minutes. I was done very, very 7 minutes it was done, and that would have been quicker if I was responding a bit quicker. So that's all logged there. I can see it anytime I want, and I can then continue the chat. I can press reply if I need to. So if you start a chat and it's a long time wait, if you come out of the app, when they respond, it will send you a notification. You can just pick straight up. So I think that's really good service, and again, nobody offers that for you. I can then press get in touch. I can start a live chat 24/7, so I can just press start chat. I can give them the ring, so I can press call, and it'll say, do you want to call us? That will initiate a phone call. Send them a message, and FAQs. Obviously I've got a customer service code. They would use that then to look at my account if I was to ring them. And if you've got any questions, press the FAQ, and that's then going to give you all the things you need to know. And like I said, as Starling is a digital bank, there is no branches. One of the most common questions you're going to get asked is, how do I put money into the account? So if you want to deposit cash, as it stands, you are only available at NatWest, but later in the year it's been confirmed by Starling that you can go along to a post office and they can do it for you. So again, great features. So one thing I've got to do soon is deposit a cheque, and there you go. All I've got to do is send it off, write my name and my account number on the back, and boom, 5 business days and I'm in. So all that at your fingertips. Honestly, it's really good. So that's the getting in touch section. Thankfully, I haven't had to use it that much, but like I said, little things like I used the protection. They blocked my card because it's been used. The code was put in wrong time, and all I had to do was get in contact. 7 minutes and it was done. Marketplace, again, this is quite unique to Starling. So this uses different loyalty services. So it uses an API, so other people, third-party companies can get involved with this. Loyalty and scheme. So what I can do is basically, if I was to install Tail, I would install the app. It would link to my Starling account within the app, and basically I wouldn't have to do anything. Every time if I use my card in one of the obviously Tail loyalty and loyalty schemes, if it recognised it was in the Tail scheme, it would automatically know because I've used my Starling card, which is associated with that Tail system. So it's all automated. I haven't got to use it, so hopefully, I'm really hoping one day that club card, which is Tesco's loyalty scheme, will use this one day, and I haven't got to then remember to take 2 cards. I could just use my normal card, and as club card know that's associated with my club card account, they would then give me the points on the correct amount versus the transactions. That's a really good scheme. Obviously, there's different categories, so savings and investment. Obviously, they keep adding to this as they go along. Insurance, mortgage broker, and you click into it and it'll give you a breakdown of what it's going to do. And yeah, you could just go add, and then it's going to obviously launch their website, and you would just simply follow the instructions. So that's a really cool little feature. Really looking forward to that. It's still in its early stages, but it is coming along leaps and bounds. So, next section, this is obviously the biggest section out of the ones, is, let's have a look. So, invite to Starling. So this, guys, I am going to share with you that the people who are watching this video, if you do get interested, obviously, please use my referral code. I don't get any financial benefit from it, but obviously it'd be great if you could use it. And yeah, and my hearts will begin to go, so I can then invite a friend and off they go. So yeah, I can invite people. So this was in the early stages. I imagine it was an invitation system, because to watch the scale of demand, they obviously did an invite session only, but now it is up and running, fully utilised, and anybody can get it. Obviously you have to go through a screening process, but once you pass that, you're in. And then the last one is add money. So that's something we've already looked at. It's a shortcut on the home screen, but it's exactly the same. So you can add money through Apple Pay, transfer your bank details and switch, and then switch to Starling. So I've already done mine, so you can see my previous switch was with Tesco Bank. I switched, so I used to get corporate perks working for Tesco, but I was that impressed by Starling, I switched within a couple of days. So I can switch another account. So if I wanted to bring my joint account over, I would be able to, but at the moment they don't do joint accounts, so that wouldn't work. But if I had another one, I could bring that over for you, no problem. So you just press switch another account, get started, put your account code and sort code, last 5 digits of debit card, and you're off. So guys, that was a look at home. Obviously the home screen is the most important one. It's got all your financial live details, but obviously all your contact stuff as well, into getting in contact with support or anything like that. So we're going to move next onto the card section. One of the very unique things about Starling Bank is the ability to see your card details live. So we're going to go over to the fourth pane here, which is card. And you can see I get everything I need to make transactions. So I get my card number, I've got my 3-digit security code, and I've obviously got my expiry date. It's everything you need to do a transaction online. So if I haven't got my card with me, and I haven't got my Safari with me, I'm using a friend's computer and I need to order something quickly. As long as I've got my phone with me, I'm good to go, and I think that is such an awesome feature. And one better than this is actually when you sign up for a Starling account, as soon as you're approved and verified you are who you are, they actually give you this ahead of time. So you haven't got to wait for your bank card to come to use your account. You actually get this card already done. You simply add it to your Apple Pay. So if I press add to Apple Wallet, obviously I'll add it and I'm done. I don't need to wait for the card to come through. You can add funds to it and off you go. So within an hour, you can be online ready to go using a bank account. I think that is such an amazing leap forward. And this app gives you so much control over your own card. So obviously at the bottom I've got 3 icons here. I've got lock, so if I need to lock the phone, I can just press lock and my card's locked. Nobody can use it now until I unlock it. I can control, so I can report it lost or stolen. So if I press lost or stolen, press cancel and reissue, and they'll send me a new one, and they'll reissue me a new digital card to use straight away. PIN reminder, so on this one, you simply enter your password. Boom, there's my PIN. I can go back in, and the last one is security. So this is really good. So it's got a couple of options. So starting from the top, you've got location-based fraud protection. So when you use your card, it's going to ping your phone to see if you are where you are, and if you are where you are, then you're good to go. It's going to let you go. So if your phone's like up country and your debit card's being used somewhere you've not probably been before, Starling's going to think that's a bit suspicious and probably stop your card. So we'll use your location to help determine if your card has been compromised to prevent fraudulent transactions. So yeah, as soon as you hit Apple Pay, it's going to think, yeah, that looks about right. So if I was to suddenly if I spent £5 in Exeter in the south and then all of a sudden I'm in Scotland 2 minutes after, there's obviously something not quite right there. Card present, so your card is unlocked and ready to use for contactless and chip and pin card payments. So if I pressed off, somebody did steal my card, they wouldn't be able to use it. I can also turn off ATM withdrawals along with online payments, so I can turn that off if I didn't want to spend any money online. A mobile wallet, so this is going to obviously stop your Apple Pay and contactless using your Apple Pay and Google Pay and Fitbit Pay. And gambling payments, so you can actually stop your card being used for gambling transactions, which is again a very useful feature. Obviously the temptation is there to unlock it if you wanted to, but it's good that they've got something in place to try and tackle those kind of things. So that's, guys, is a quick look at the card itself. Top left icon, you've got an abroad logo. Going abroad, your Starling account is made for travel. Find out why. Use it worldwide. It's a MasterCard, so it's going to be accepted all around the world. Tip and go, tap and go even. So Apple Pay you can use abroad as long as it's contactless as well. And safe travel, unlock card wherever you are. If you've lost it, and like I said, they're only a tap away, and keep track of your money. So yeah, now I just want to go over something. There is a difference between Apple Pay and then contactless pay. So you can use your Apple Pay wallet on any contactless machine, but if they're Apple Pay certified, there is no limit. So if you go to an Apple store, you can buy an Apple Mac at £1,000 using your phone only. If you were to go into a retailer which I know doesn't do it, so Tesco at the moment don't do Apple Pay. If I was to spend £31 and use the Apple Pay wallet, it would decline because it's over that £30 limit. If it's under £30, it will just act as if it is a contactless payment. So if it's Apple Pay certified, the limit has disappeared, which is great. So guys, we're going to go on to goals next, which is a little one, and then that will pretty much wrap up Starling Bank on this series. So last not least is the goals section of the app. So if we go into goals, this is where you can set yourself up goals, quite simply, to save some money. So as you can see, I've got currently 2 set up. I've only just set them up, hence why there is no funds in there at the moment. And you can set them up for various different things. So obviously I've got one for Evie, which is my daughter. I plan to put away £10 a month for the next 18 years. So obviously come 18, she's got a bit of money to play with for her 18th party and anything that she would like. I've also got a holiday, so you can see on the holiday one there is a bit of a progress bar. And the purpose of this is I've set a kind of goal which I'd like to get to, whereas the EV one I haven't. So the EV one I've just put, there is no limit. I can set up a target amount if I wanted to, but at the moment I haven't. So I can go manage, target amount I can then put in, but for the moment that one's fine. Now a holiday, I have put a target amount of 500, and I'm hopefully trying to get as close to that. Now the picture there is a picture that I've uploaded. It's a picture of Corfu. It's probably necessarily where I'm not going to be going, but it's always nice to look at some inspiration to keep me going. And you can set these up really easy. If we just press new, what are we saving for? Well, we could be saving up for a new car, so we put car. I can then put my amount, so £1,000, and then I can transfer some if I want to, and I can set up and if you want to say car has been set up now, I can go into that and delete that because I don't need it. Set up a picture, everything's done. You can have as many goals as you want. You can set dates, so I can then press add money. I can then put £10 when. I've obviously got it set for the 1st, and that's recurring, so you can see upcoming £10 Sunday the 1st of July, and that's going to be every month. So really great way to save. So guys, that's going to be a wrap up on the Starling Bank as it is. Now obviously this is the app in its current form, so this is being recorded in June 2018. Lots of new features are coming up. Starling are moving at a tremendous pace. I've had nothing but pleasure to use it. I know it's a very simple thing, you bank, but it's very personal. I really find, what do I like the most? So if I look here, all my transactions I can see live, they come through as soon as I spend it, and it's always great to see. I just really enjoy banking for a change. It's nice to see it live. One frustration I used to have with NatWest, for example, is you'd spend money and you wouldn't see it until like 3 days after where it's actually gone. So you'd see it come out, you go into a pending state where you couldn't use it, but you would actually never see where it is. As soon as I pay for something, I get told straight away. It comes up here on the pulse. I can look at it and go, yep, that's correct. It's all there to see. I can search for transactions. If I go, did I go to IKEA? I sure did, and it's just great to see. I think for a bank, they really are going leaps and bounds. I have no problem. I did the switch from Tesco Bank. Everything went really seamlessly. I had a couple of direct debits. So when I went into scheduled, I had a couple of direct debits which are old, never actually existed. I'd never actually paid them again. So PayPal, for example, I've never actually there. So this one says transfer unconfirmed because it's an old account I don't use anymore. So I can go into it. I can then delete it, cancel payment. Then it's going to ask me to authenticate as always to verify that I am actioning what I want to do. And then boom, that direct debit's gone. So you have so much customizability on here, it's great. Like I said, I just love the instantness of everything. As soon as I spend money, I get told. As soon as somebody puts money in, I get told, which is always nice to have. And it's just great. When it goes under £25, you get a notification to let you know. And so far, it's just been really stable. I've had no issues, even though it's not a bank you've necessarily heard of all the time. But they are really good guys, and they're really up and coming. So guys, that's been a look at Starling Bank. If there's any questions, then please do let me know. I'm going to leave a link for my referral for a start if you want to get yourself set up. They're really good, even if it's a secondary account. But I did the switch, and it's been seamless. People still have my old bank details. And when they transfer it to my old details, it gets redirected into my Starling account, no problem. And as I say, Starling Bank does use the faster payment service. So, for example, I know NatWest uses it. So when somebody called Beth uses it, she transfers me money. It's in my account within a couple of minutes instead of a couple of days or hours with other banks. So it's got all the big things like a big bank would have. It's got all that protection as well. You're guaranteed to up to £85,000. That's a rough figure, but that is just about where it is. And like I said, they are a fully fledged bank. And check out their website, guys. There's a lot of new things up and coming. They're only just getting started, and there's a lot of new features to look forward to. For me, the one I'm looking forward to is the ability to put money in via a post office because the local NatWest here in Sidmouth is closing. But guys, any questions, do let me know. And yeah, thank you very much for watching.